everybody. We are going to go ahead and jump right on in. Sorry for the delay. We had technical
All
difficulties. I
right.
don't know if it's the cold weather or what, but welcome, guys. Glad you can join us tonight.
Hey, I'm not like green and glitching out. Look at that.
Yeah, I remember back in the 80s when I was growing up, they had something called Max Headroom, and he would like glitch around and stuff. So,
I
taking me
remember
back.
him.
Man,
Well, hey, let's jump right in and talk about the wild card weekend. What a crazy weekend. And hi, Patty. We're glad you're here. We're glad we're
Dad,
here.
you had said you brought on 2 guys who are experts at football, and I'm gonna tell you this, I don't feel too expert like right now. I don't I didn't predict half of the games right this week, so I'm feeling pretty dumb right now. So
Uh, how
I
about you,
think
Ryan?
Ryan's way more of an expert than me.
This is true. You don't lie, Jay. What a
How did you
wild card weekend it was.
how
Wild
did
card
you do?
weekend never just I didn't do too bad. I didn't do too bad. I did my picks in a family league in ESPN, and the only game I got wrong in that is the Cowboys and Packers game. So I feel pretty good.
You feel pretty good, but I don't think those Cowboys do.
No, they don't. I don't know what happened in the 90s with them. I think it's similar to what happened to the Jets when they won a Super Bowl. I don't know what they had to give up to win that Super Bowl, but it's been haunting them ever since. So,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, let's just you guys want to get into that game right away? That was
Let's go.
Let's do it.
the
That's
Let's
a
big
do
great
it.
one to
upset.
start.
The Cowboys and the Packers facing off in Dallas. They got a home field, second seed to play the number 7 Packers. No number 7 seed has ever won. Packers, one of the youngest teams ever in the National
Ever.
Football League to make the playoffs. Everything's against them. They got rid of their Hall of Fame quarterback. They can't beat this high-powered Cowboys offense and defense and
At home
Jerryville.
in
No way.
Dallas.
Yeah, it can't happen. Not
No.
only did they beat them, they destroyed them. The score was 48-32, and folks, it wasn't even that close.
No.
Jordan Love and their quarterback looked phenomenal. They ran the ball all over him. Aaron Jones went nuts on him. And I loved every minute of it. I love watching the Cowboys struggle because Kirk, like me, grew up or old enough in the era when the Cowboys won all the time. And those fans were relentless in the 90s. Nobody was ever more annoying than Cowboys fans during that time. I don't feel bad for them at all.
I know that some people probably say that about Chiefs now too, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have to share real quick. Somebody posted this, and they're a Cowboys fan, and they said this is the Dallas Cowboys cycle. Season starts, beat up on bad teams, fans get delusional. We dem boys, this is our year, choke in the playoffs.
Yep. Yep.
That's
It's
not right,
exactly what happens.
but that's kind of yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know about you guys, but I think old Jerry Jones is going to pull the plug on Mike McCarthy. And my prediction is he's going to give anything that Bill Belichick wants to him to coach that team.
Well, and for Bill Belichick, I mean, all the Cowboys do is win in the regular season, and he needs what 17 more wins, Ryan, to be the all-time winning coach.
That's it. 17 to beat Don
I would
Shula.
go to the Cowboys. You'll be done in 2 years. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
guaranteed, guaranteed. You're gonna win at minimum, I think, 12 games with the boys. So,
And the one
just
thing, the one thing you're going to hear from Bill Belichick after we'll never hear from Bill Belichick after a game is what Mike McCarthy said in his post game. We weren't ready to play. How
Yeah.
can you're just asking to get fired as a head coach saying we weren't ready to play this game.
Here's my resignation.
Exactly.
I,
Jeez, I couldn't
oh,
imagine going into work one day and saying, I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen.
He would have been better off having a frozen mustache.
But I know my brother-in-law, we were talking during the whole game because he is a huge Packers fan. And the more they kept scoring and getting up, the more I kept getting mad at how the Packers just continually get good quarterbacks. And as a Jets fan, it is so infuriating that this franchise just keeps hitting and hitting on these guys. And Jordan Love, he looks better than Aaron Rodgers did when he first came out. So
Ryan, that's interesting you say that because that's exactly how we felt for all those years with the Chiefs. I mean, quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Then we got Joe Montana for just a brief moment, and he was on one leg at that time, but
mhm.
we were happy. And then Patrick came. So thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Yeah, Lord, come to the Jets, please. We
Come to
need,
the
we pray. Our fan nation can't take any more of this.
Yeah. Hey,
But yeah, the
Jay,
Packers.
real quick, Jay, Katie posted something here real quick. Poor Reese, LOL. That's my nephew. He's a huge Cowboys fan. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we were beating them up pretty good in the family text thread. Um, yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of Cowboys fans go, well, this is it. I'm never going to be excited for my team to go to the Super Bowl again. Like, I just need to be excited for them to win one game in the playoffs. That's all I need to be cheering for. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Next season, they'll go on a 13 win streak, and everyone will be screaming, this is our year.
This is.
This is it. We're doing it.
Speaking
Oh,
of a fan base that just wanted to win one playoff game, the Detroit Lions,
Oh, my.
big old battle against the the red hot LA Rams. Matthew Stafford coming back home. That big trade from a few years ago, where they gave the Lions everything to get Stafford, including Jared Goff. Just throw him to the side,
Hmm.
and they go in there, and the Lions, in a great game, beat them 24-23.
mm.
That was a high stakes game, and Goff came through. I mean, he definitely came through. That pass that he threw right toward the end of the game there to secure the win. That was huge. That was a high pressure pass right there.
when he uh when he was getting tackled, Ryan, and he threw it backwards and the ball was
Yeah,
live, I was like, there's the golf I know.
yeah.
There's the golf we all know. Come on.
There's Jared
Are you gonna
Goof.
are you gonna choke it, Goof? Come on. He didn't choke.
Nope. Nope. And I know Jay, you saw it. Kirk, did you get to see Dan Campbell's speech after the game?
Uh-uh.
That guy, you just want to run through a brick wall when he talks. He
Right.
is just electric, dude. Like, I would love to play for a guy like that.
It's like a 4-minute clip. It's not long, but by the end of it, Dad, I was like, I'll do anything for that coach. Whatever he wants, I'm in. Like, yeah, let's go. We're gonna go win a war somewhere. Like, you're just so fired up watching him. And who was Ryan? Was that which coordinator was that he gave the game ball to?
General manager.
That was general manager. That was really
Thank,
cool.
was that thanks for hiring me? Is that what that was?
Bringing all that talent in, drafting
Yeah.
good, making those trades. Like, that general manager did phenomenal building that team.
Well, they both started the same year, so
Mm-hmm.
he he talked about how they both came in with the same vision and had the same goals in mind. And boy, talk about a first rough year. I mean, that first year, Dan Campbell won what, 3 games?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Three
yeah.
games, and so I mean, people were getting down on Dan Campbell, but my brother and Ryan, you watched it too, but you guys watched that HBO's Hard Knocks when Lions were on there, and you just couldn't help but fall in love with how awesome Dan Campbell was and intense, and you just find yourself rooting for him. You want him to do good, and so it's pretty cool to see that payoff where his first year they win 3 games, 2 years later they go number 2 seed, and now they're going back to back home games in the playoffs. Pretty cool.
Hey, here's a good
Did you
comment. You see that one, Jay?
No, I didn't. Was that?
Ethan says, Jay, I'm digging you still have the Christmas tree up.
Hey, at this point, it is like such a good nightlight. I don't wanna have to unplug it. I feel like there's a certain temperature it has to hit before you can take your Christmas tree down. It hasn't hit that yet. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey,
Christmas lights are still up.
so obviously Ethan's joining us, and then also Shelly Turwiger. I'm just gonna say Shelly Shirts. I can never get her maiden name right, But yeah, just speaking of her, yesterday I was driving in the car, and I have the Mini Cooper, and in the rearview mirror, all of a sudden, I'm parked on Dix Road, going up that hill, Jay, and in the rearview mirror, I see this huge chrome grill, like literally up on the back side of my vehicle. And I know who it is because she's done it so many times. She's she's on my board of directors at church, but she just, she bullies me in my little Mini Cooper. I don't know what the deal is.
Your car's so little, I bet her
She
truck
could
just
fit it in the
towers
back of
over
her
you.
truck. Hi, Shelley.
That is awesome.
She's
Now,
seen
did you
she's seen a linebacker. All right, go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
did you guys see that fan that's been a season ticket holder for the
Yeah,
Lions for all
66
those years?
years.
Oh my
66 years.
goodness,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my
yeah.
that
How epic.
yeah, that smile on his face when they won it was well worth it, I thought.
yeah, that was awesome. He's 89 years old, I think I heard.
Yeah. Super cool moment to share that.
Uh, the next game, another young team, the Houston Texans, traveling or
Ooh,
having Cleveland come to them with Mr. Magic Man Joe Flacco coming to town, and the Texans took care of business pretty handily against a
yes.
top-ranked defense, 45-14. They did not have. They came into that game no pressure on them at all, and they played like it. And C.J. Stroud, the youngest quarterback ever to win a playoff game.
I mean, 3 weeks ago, the Browns went to the Texans and just spanked them. Final score was 36-22, but it was over even before the Texans got to 22. The Browns whooped them 3 weeks ago on
I don't think
Christmas
they
Eve.
had. They didn't have C.J. Stroud for that game, did they? He was out that game, I think.
You're probably right. Yeah, no, they had
Mhm.
Dave. It was only Davis Mills,
I did
but
not
Yeah.
see that
still,
coming. Mm-mm.
I mean,
No.
the Browns were favored to win, and they were the away team traveling to the
Hmm.
Texans, favored to win.
Their defense was ranked what, number 1?
Number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. They got played like they didn't have a defense. That was
No.
crazy.
I wanted the Browns to win so bad because I would have loved to seen Joe Flacco going back to
Hmm.
Baltimore to face the Ravens. But Flacco played like Flacco has played the past 10 years. Not afraid to chuck the ball wherever it is on the field.
Yep.
And sometimes he'll look like, you know, he's an angel, and sometimes he looks terrible because he throws the same ball, but sometimes it gets intercepted and sometimes they make a great catch. So just not in his favor this weekend.
No, that was definitely a surprise game, and I did not expect it to be. I thought it was going to be a low scoring game, but wow.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those Texans. I think they're good enough. They could beat anybody. They're that good, but well, they're
I
pretty
was
young and
honestly
inexperienced.
I was honestly a little worried of the Steelers beating the Bills because I'm like, well, the Chiefs would get a home game, but the Texans are going to come. I don't know if I want that. Um,
Right.
but then
Yeah,
if the Bills win, we have to travel to the Bills. I don't know if I want that either.
Well, we are
and
going to the Bills.
Yeah, we
the
are.
Bills won tonight or this afternoon, 31-17. Josh Allen looked great that game, running the ball, throwing the ball. Their defense looked good. I mean, they're going against an inferior team, in my opinion. Mason Rudolph is not a very good quarterback. They beat him pretty good. Their best player was out, T.J. Watt, who can just change a whole game, and he wasn't even
Yes.
Yep.
playing. So it would have been really hard for the Steelers to win that game in Buffalo. But man, hats off to them fans in Buffalo, sitting in that snow, plowing. I've seen so many videos of big old dads or guys plowing down the first guys down the stairs, getting
Yeah.
through that
Yep.
snow, trying to find their seats. That
Then
would
the
have been a
guy,
fun game to
then
go
the guy
to.
with no shirt on sliding down the tube.
Oh my goodness, those guys are unbelievable. But yeah, Josh, that Bills team looks really good. This is the best I think they've looked going into the playoffs since I can remember. So they are a very scary team to play right now.
which is so odd considering they were 6-6 at one point with like a 10% chance to even make the playoffs.
Yeah, when they lost to the Eagles that game.
I mean, so the turnaround to go from 6-6 to 11-6, win the division and go number 2. I mean, what a turnaround the Bills had, and a lot of that is just Josh Allen playing big boy football.
Yeah, they got rid of their offensive coordinator and just went back to running the football and
Running
doing
the
what
football.
makes them good. Yep.
Yeah, he had 74 yards rushing, and Cook had 79, and then Johnson
Yeah.
had 26. So they had 179 yards rushing.
Yeah, Allen broke off a 52-yard touchdown run,
Crazy.
which is the second longest in NFL history for a quarterback in the playoffs. And
Well, they converted in the red zone. That's for sure. He had 3 touchdown passes. That's one thing that's been a little concerning about the Chiefs not being able to convert in the red zone.
well, I'm sure you guys don't want to talk about that Chiefs game, so
Not
we'll
yet.
just skip over that and
Not yet. Not yet. Ethan says Eagles or Bucks. Who's going to win?
That
I
can
picked
be
the
a very
Bucks.
it can be a very close game because the Buccaneers have 2 great wide receivers, and the Eagles are really bad at pass. They're the worst in the league when it comes to pass defense. AJ Brown's not playing for the Eagles.
Yep.
This game has been a toss up for me, but in the end of the day, I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think talent wins out. I think great quarterbacks show up to play in the playoffs, and ones that are mediocre or bad fold. And I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles on this one.
The Bucks are up 3-0 right now, but that's just in the first quarter. Yep. Ethan says not a fan of Mayfield. A lot of people are not, and a lot of that goes back to college planting the flag in the middle of the field.
I don't mind Baker Mayfield. I like him.
I
I
don't
like his
either.
intensity.
He's an underdog story now, so I like it.
Yeah, he is definitely now.
Yeah, at first it was way too close to Johnny Manziel. I didn't like him during that time either. But yeah, no. Now that he's the underdog, I don't mind cheering for him. Looking at back to the Steelers, it's wild. You talk about the Packers, so they've had 3 starting quarterbacks in like 3 decades. You look at the Steelers, they've only had 3 head coaches since 1969.
Mm,
Isn't that insane?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was reading that, but yeah, Chuck Noll from 1969 to 1991, Bill Cowher from 92 to 2006, and then Mike Tomlin from 07 to now. So it's just like, and here again, Tomlin has another winning season, has never had a losing season, and people are talking like the Steelers should move on from Tomlin. It's time to move on, find someone else.
No.
Is Tomlin the problem?
No. The
No.
quarterback. They need a better quarterback. That's it.
Exactly.
You give them one of these quarterbacks that are left in the AFC, and they're probably going to the Super Bowl and winning it.
Dude, if you didn't have Tomlin, there's no way they would have even had these winning records over the past 3-4 years. There's no way.
No.
I think Mike Tomlin is a fantastic head coach. After the game, did you see what happened, Ryan? He
No.
stepped up to the podium. Very first question, it's a girl, and she's like, "Well, so Mike, you only have 1 year left on your contract," and he just shakes his head, walks off, doesn't even answer her, just walked off. He's done.
That's it.
Questions were done.
I
That's
don't blame
all
him.
she got out, and he was like, "I'm done. I'm not talking to you."
That's a dumb first question.
So dumb.
Well, Kirk,
They
you
got-
want to take a quick commercial break before we get to the next?
Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll come back, and we got to make sure that we talk tonight about what is going on with the NFL officiating this year. Think about that. We'll be right back, and don't get angry. We'll be back, okay?
Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, CNS Employment Solutions, they do such a great job right here in mid-Missouri, making sure people get connected with the right employer and employers get connected with the right employees. If you know somebody that needs a job or an employer that needs some good workforce, make sure that you contact Paula and her team at CNS Employment Solutions. They'll hook you up. Also, we've got another sponsor for the program, Big Whiskeys, and they are our sponsor for the Coach of the Issue. And every issue of Sports Soccer Magazine, we feature a coach right here in mid-Missouri that is a great role model, and we like to tell their story, and Big Whiskeys helps us to be able to do that. So we appreciate both of our sponsors. Something else that I appreciate these two guys that are on the program with me tonight. It's been a while, and it's almost like they're a package deal now. I can only get one on with the other being here, so we'll take it though. So good to have you guys on. Thanks for being here tonight.
Always a great time being the most popular guest on the Sports Nation.
That is right. Hey, do you want to talk about officiating? Do the downer stuff first, and then talk the positive stuff? What do you want to do?
I say we finish out the games here. Let's keep that rolling.
All right.
We'll go to the biggest upset. Everybody thought the Chiefs were going to lose this game, I think, with the red hot Miami Dolphins coming to the blustery Kansas City. The Chiefs, and no surprise for anybody, beat the Dolphins 26-7 in the fourth coldest game in NFL history. And when you get a team that plays in warm weather, they can't prepare for it. It's impossible. And their bodies are not used to that temperature. Nobody's really used to that temperature. Let's just be honest. Nobody wants to play in that temperature. But when you live in this area, your body is a little more used to that. And when you're a warm weather team, it just doesn't happen. And the Chiefs made it happen. The Dolphins have been struggling, and good for the Chiefs to advance. Now, Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if you guys saw the stat. He has won 12 playoff games now. Now, let me tell you why that's crazy. Kirk, how many years do you think it took John Elway to win 12 playoff games?
How many years did it take him?
How many years in his career before he won 12 playoff games?
Ooh, he went to how many Super Bowls in a row? Wasn't it 3?
3 in a row. He went to 5 total. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd say it was probably 8 years.
16.
Whoa.
16 years in his career before he won 12.
Oh my
Kirk,
gosh.
how many do you think it took Peyton Manning in his career to get to 12 playoff wins?
I'm going to go with that number too. How about 15?
17 years before he won his 12th playoff game. Mahomes has already done it.
Wow. That's
the
awesome.
guy is unbelievable. And when they lose a game, Jay acts like it's the end of the world and he doesn't want to be here anymore. And they've won so much and he just takes it. Oh, it just drives me insane.
I'm a very passionate fan, Ryan, and it ruins my day when I see the Chiefs not play well. And it's beyond them not playing well. I know Ethan brought up Kelsey. I couldn't quite read what it showed. But, I mean,
it says, I'm sorry, but can we talk about Travis Kelce dropping the ball when it hits him in the hands?
Oh, man. I mean, he had 3 of them yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. 3 drops. But I mean, it's one of those games where you would love to be like, oh, well, it's just because it's a brick. It's so cold. That football is a brick.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been watching it during good weather too. So it's hard to justify any of it. But all year, you just see the offensive struggles. And so I loved that yesterday the Chiefs came out throwing the ball. Because I think it caught the Dolphins off guard, having the Chiefs start throwing right away, getting down the field and scoring. And then we just decided to kick field goals from there. I couldn't believe our red zone inefficiency of not being able to score touchdowns. It was crazy.
Yeah, it used to be automatic, and now it's field goal time.
And you're just so inefficient at the wide receiver. And Kelsey, I mean, just be honest. The guy has lost a step. He's not the same Kelsey anymore.
No.
He's still good, but he ain't. I mean, everybody remembers when Tony Gonzalez lost that step too. It's
Yep.
just, it is what it is. It happens to players. Still a good player, but if they don't this offseason go out and get a dynamic, another pass catcher to go with Rashee Rice, they're going to be what they are right now, and it's not a Super Bowl contender in my opinion.
Well, I think we were talking about the drop passes, and yesterday or actually it was on Saturday when he was watching Rasheed. It was smooth. I mean, he was just plucking the ball out of the air, just
Yep.
plucking it out of the air and running, and that's what we need to have happen. And I remember a lot of Tyreek, just what he did the other night when he went back after the ball. When the ball's in the air, that man tracks the ball. We
Yep.
just and then Hardman's back for us, and he's like, "Where's the ball? Where's the ball?" Falling on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
McCole Hardman had a couple balls like that where if he would have just found the ball in the air, he could have made the catch, but he didn't see it. He didn't know it was there. And so it's just frustrating having that happen. Uh-oh, what's Ethan saying now, Dad?
he's trying to get us angry. He's just trying to talk about. He's
I
trying to
love
talk
it.
about
Bring it.
Jawan Taylor. Get him off the line. My goodness,
He's
What is
bad.
holds a record for most penalties. Yeah,
He's
I mean,
bad.
this
if you're
is a
gonna
family. This is a family program, Ethan. Come on.
if you're gonna try to have a record, I mean, I guess I would have tried to go for a different one. I don't know what Jawan Taylor saw and said, I'm breaking that record this year.
Oh,
But boy, every game he's trying to do something wrong.
well, he did. On the touchdown that they did score, that they called it back. The guy that was from the defense pushed him into the other
That's
guy.
right.
So that should have been something, but they're just saying he obviously did something wrong, so let's just call a penalty on him.
It's Jawan Taylor.
Obviously.
It's funny. Reed has said that he's had other linemen line up how he does and do other things, and the refs don't call it. So he thinks that they're just picking on Jawan Taylor. But at some point, if you know you're under the microscope, do your job correctly, perfectly.
Now,
Don't.
Kirk brought up he wanted to talk about officials, and you brought up a very good point right there, Jay. And speaking of Juwan Taylor's, the very first game of the year, their Monday Night Football game, it was heavily in social media after the game how much he was getting those first steps.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And he was obviously offsides a whole bunch of times.
Yes.
But I've noticed over the course of the year, on any time the refs are making bad calls and it gets blown up on social media or in the media, that they are like calling it like crazy on people after that. It is insane. And they have ruined so many games this year. And baseball was really bad for a long time, and they finally went to more replay in baseball. And I wish they would do that in football and just be like, no, you guys made a bad call, we're going to reverse it. Like, there's people in New York that watch it. I don't understand why they just can't do that.
It could definitely be a lot better. There's been talk about doing full-time officiating because these people are part-time. But my goodness, there's just and especially now with what they're doing with the NFL and all the betting and all that kind of stuff that's going on, that stuff's losing some people some sleep at night.
Well, yeah, it's creating a huge conspiracy theory is what it's doing. And
Yep.
with a multi-billion-dollar corporation, NFL should be able to have every camera angle possible. And when they say they don't have a camera angle, it's just insane to me. They have so many small cameras they can put everywhere. It just shouldn't be a problem this day and age with bad calls, in my opinion, in any
No.
sport.
And
Yeah.
Jay, you brought up a good thing. You said, just do your job. Absolutely. Just like with Tony in that Buffalo game where he lined up off sides. I mean, yeah, I was upset. We had a touchdown and then and I looked at it and no, he was over the line. You can't dispute that. He was over the line.
Nope. Mhm. Yep.
No, and even the problem with calls like that, it's the consistency because
Right.
they called that and they're like, well, it was because it was so obvious. And then I have literally photos for that week and the week after of like 7 games where it is so obvious that the wide receiver's over the ball.
Yeah.
and those aren't called at all. And so it's not that Tony wasn't offsides, it's that they're not calling it on anyone else. So why are they randomly picking on Tony? And even Matt Ryan, well, because when he was talking in the broadcast, he was just like, it is weird because as a quarterback, the refs would always come to me and say, hey, one of your guys is can you get it fixed? He's lining up off sides. So Ryan's like, the fact that they didn't even talk about it with anyone, he's like, it's the weirdest thing because it has no effect on the play. So they don't, he was in favor of not calling that if you haven't even talked with the teams about it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, also didn't make
Go
you know
ahead.
what also didn't make sense, Jay, was when Kansas City played the New York Jets, and Kansas City had all these pass interferences against the Jets who didn't get called, and then the Jets had the best coverage I've ever seen out of a cornerback in my entire life called for pass interference,
I
and
can't
Kansas
believe
City
he
won the
fouled him.
game. It's unbelievable.
I want to.
Can't believe he fouled him.
Let's go back to the Tony one real quick. The crazy thing about that, he was obviously offsides, but then like the very next play, it shows Von Miller, his hand. I mean, he was clearly
Pass the ball.
over,
Yeah.
and then that wasn't called. So that just again that consistency. That's all people are looking for is just consistency. And
Well,
I
you
say
can't
that
get yeah,
I
and you
say
can't
that
get
So
because
go
that's
ahead.
not true because it's always going to be for our team.
Yeah.
So a poll came out. It was interesting. A poll got put out on Sleeper, and they asked, um, should you be able to challenge no calls? And within 5 minutes, there were 600 yes votes and 70 no votes. But most people are saying yes, you should be able to challenge no calls. What's your thoughts on that, Ryan?
I just go back to what I just said is, you want to call a fair game and consistent, you can do it. Put more cameras out there, and
Oh,
New York interjects when it's a bad call or a bad no call. Like, they interject. Get it right.
that's what I think too.
They've got 8 officials on the NFL field, if I remember correctly. One of them's a replay official, but I think the other 7 are actually out there looking at what's going on in the field. And of course, we know that there's going to be stuff that they're going to miss. You've got 22 guys on the field at once, and the speed that they're going at. Um, yes, they're going to miss some stuff, but the obvious things, the obvious things, right in front of them. You see the back judge right there,
Yep.
and it happens right in front of him. The
Mhm.
guy's pulling on his shirt. That's got to be a call.
Yep.
It's just
Pretty
not
wild.
human error is always going to be an issue when you let it be. But at the same time, like you just said, if you could call holding on every play if you wanted to. You could probably
Yep.
call pass interference on every play too. But it's you never know.
And again, it has to do with our team and how passionate we are, right, Jay?
Yeah.
It's how passionate
No,
we are on whether it's a good or a
100%.
bad call.
It's funny. A lot of times when I'm watching a play, I'm like, hold on. If that happened to the Chiefs, what would I be saying right now? And that's how I have to base my feelings because I otherwise I get I'm like, no, that wasn't a penalty at all. And I'm like, well, if that happened to the Chiefs, I'd be saying the opposite. So
Yep.
you gotta balance your feelings. But before we get off, craziness in the NFL coaching world. Um, I just can't believe that Belichick's gone. You've got isn't Andy Reid now the oldest coach in the NFL, live active coach right now
I think so.
at
Because
65?
No, my
because
oldest coach, yes, because Pete
Oldest.
Carroll is
Pete
done.
Carroll
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yep.
And he
Now
Pete
Pete
Carroll
Pete
looked
Carroll
good.
and Belichick might come back and coach again next year. We don't know, but as of right now, they're out of jobs, and so Andy Reid is the oldest coach right now in the NFL, which is just crazy to me.
Pete Carroll stayed on as an advisor for Seattle. He's still employed there.
Yeah, he has not said anything to staying on as an advisor. Um, so it's interesting because they've offered him that job, but it seemed like he was talking he might go looking for a coaching job. And I'm like, dude, you're 77. It's time to advise. You're at the time in your life where you don't have to work so hard, buddy.
Yeah, those two were surprises. I mean, everybody thought Belichick was going to leave, and then Mike Vrabel I thought was a huge surprise too because I
Yeah.
think he's a really good coach. And then I was even more surprised when the Patriots didn't bring him on. But I understand they were grooming Gerard Mayo for that spot
Yep.
this whole time. So.
Yeah.
So
And then Nick Saban retired in the NCAA football world, and so that was pretty shocking. And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, as soon as the playing field got a little level, it seems like he that transfer portal has opened up too many good teams. So now that they can pay players and there's no problem, no controversies, yeah, now it's a problem. He said, I'm out.
Smart.
it wouldn't
Smart.
be right. It wouldn't be right if we didn't let Ryan talk a little bit about the Jets and coaching, future plans, all that kind of stuff. We want to hear a little bit of your thoughts on all that, Ryan.
Well, Kirk,
Hey,
we are getting into the off season, and as a Jets fan, you all
it's the best
know
time.
that is the best season to be a Jets fan is the off season. We got Aaron Rodgers coming back. We have a first round draft pick, number 10 overall. We got some money to spend in free agency. We're looking to rebuild our O line, bring on another pass catcher, and we're going to be in the hunt for the Super Bowl next year. Mark my words.
The the defense, man, I'm telling you, those guys. And we kind of got a little bit of a taste of that this year. We were, as Chiefs fans, we were so used to the offense just dominating and holding everything together, and we have needed every bit of our defense this year,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
every bit.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I would kept thinking, do not let Aaron Rodgers play. I don't care what he feels. Do not let him play. It is not time.
Yeah. Once we were eliminated, I thought the same. And plus, that old line was so bad; it'd been
Oh,
terrible bringing him back in there.
would have been horrible. He might have been out in the first play there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
That would
So
have been.
I totally forgot. Who's winning the Super Bowl this year? Who's doing it?
My prediction on my ESPN one that I picked was the Bills and Niners, and I have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
On our picks that we had at the first of the year when we were on here, do you remember? I don't think you had Bills and 49ers then. Who did
I
you
think
have
I
then,
did.
Ryan?
I think I
Did
did.
you
I
have?
think I did.
Did you?
I think I did. That's all right.
I think I had the Chiefs and the Eagles, and I had the Chiefs repeating. And I don't think the Eagles are going to make it past today.
No. So who's your pick right now, Dad? Do you still think Eagles are going, or who's going all the way?
No, it's the 49ers. They're going to be there, and I would even. I don't know. I'm still going to be a homer, and I'm going with the Chiefs coming
Boy,
out of nowhere.
if the Chiefs can get past the Bills, we've got a chance.
Yeah.
We've got a chance.
Yeah.
Come
They just got to
on.
play the best team in football after that. The Ravens.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be fine. It'll be fine. Calm down.
The Bucks are up 10 to
Um,
nothing.
I've been thinking the Niners were the team to beat, and now that the Cowboys are officially out, I think it's the Niners in the NFC all the way. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to upset them. Um, and so yeah, I've got Niners. My plan for Niners and Bills with the Bills getting their victory this year and upsetting the Niners. So we'll see.
That would be something.
That'd be something indeed.
Ethan's asking the question one more thing. What's up with the theory
Dude,
of the colors of the Super Bowl signs telling what teams will go to the Super Bowl?
if the theory's right, it's Niners and Ravens. That's
Yep.
what's going to
Yep.
be in the Super Bowl.
Okay. And that's
That's
what
only
we
that's only a recent thing though. It's only the past couple Super Bowls that's happened on. So
Yeah.
okay. I reject that. I reject that.
I don't think the Chiefs have it in them this year. I'm super glad we beat the Dolphins. I think we're going to give the Bills a run for their money. The good news is we've played each other so much. It's going to be a good game. I don't think it's just going to be a blowout. But I don't think the Chiefs have it in them on the offense side to do it this year.
Good.
We'll see. Hey,
We'll have
I'd
to
love to be proven wrong. I
let's
would
do a
love to
follow-up.
be proven wrong.
All right. Ryan, you got any closing comments?
No, I mean, I'm super looking forward to next weekend. Those AFC games, those 4 quarterbacks left is pretty exciting. Really looking forward to that. And the Bills Chiefs rivalry just keeps going. They can't avoid each other. I love
Oh, I
it.
love it.
I love rivalries, and it's just great. I love it.
You know, it's interesting looking at the NFC side and the AFC side. Dallas gets knocked out, and it kind of looks like there is just pretty much anybody could possibly win on the AFC side, and they're all tough teams. On the NFC side, it seems that San Francisco is just far and above everybody else. Um,
I
but
think
you
the
never know.
Lions I think the Lions are good enough to beat the 49ers, but if the 49ers just play their game, no, I don't think anybody can beat them. They're just too
Yeah,
talented. Their roster is just so deep and so talented.
yeah,
As long as Brock Purdy doesn't get his arm broken the first quarter.
yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Jay, why don't you close us out?
Awesome. Well, hey, this was a real fun night. Thank you, Ethan, and everyone else for joining us tonight, and Shelly for scaring my dad. I love that. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, this was a great time. If you want to keep having a good program every Monday at 7 o'clock, tune in to One Nation, a Sports Locker magazine extra with Kirk DeMars. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All right. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you later.